Okay, so our today's discussion is about error, mistakes and theory. As I have said in the initial class, that is second language acquisition has been a diversified phenomena, and there we'll have some theories, linguistics theory, psychological theory, and also a behavioral theory, anthropological theory. Many theories are there. Okay, today we are going to study a theory that is called behavioristic language theory, or the behaviorism in second language acquisition. Okay, so in that case you have participated the definition of an habit. Habit, that is an usual way of behaving or a tendency that someone has settled into. That means you have settled into a practice. You have settled into doing things in such a way that is not unusual way. Okay, that is the habit. That is in the clothing habit, dressing habit, is like that. Okay, and mistake in applied linguistics, mistake and error sometimes it may be similar, but if we make the difference, an error is an unintended deviation from the immanent rules of a language variety made by a second language learner. Unintentional deviation of the language rule can be called error, or you can call it mistake. Okay, if you can correct yourself. In case of habit formation in second language acquisition, that is in 2006 I started taking class of 30 minutes, and next time I went to a university. I started a job at a university. There I had to take classes for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Okay, so I was very scared what to do. Okay, and naturally after taking class 2 months or 3 months and 4 months,
you have become used to.
I became used to. That means taking 1 hour 30 minutes class became a part of my habit, become a part of my behavior. Okay, in case of second language learning, many linguists, they say that second language acquisition is a part of behavior. If you practice it, it would be a part of your behavior, and you can continue speaking uninterrupted hours after hours.
Spontaneous.
Okay. In 1950 decades, the behaviorist theory came up with as one of the first study to learning directly how people learn in general, and this theory was quickly adapted to SLA and henceforth into teaching methodologies. That means how learning can be the part of human behavior, how second language acquisition can be the part of human behavior. And in 1950 decades, that behaviorism is a theory of psychology. That psychological theory, with the invention of or the discovery of this psychological theory, that theory became a part of second language acquisition. And means if any word or activity becomes a part of human behavior, that is behaviorism in psychology. So if second language acquisition become a part of human behavior, that would also be humanistic or behaviorist theory. Okay, in case of second language acquisition. Okay, and in this regard, their behaviorist theory believes that infants learn oral language from other human role models through a process involving imitation, rewards, practice, etc. So children imitate. What they will listen, they will imitate. Okay. What they will see, they will imitate. Okay. So after imitate, নকল করা, কপি করা। আপনি যেটা যেভাবে বলছেন সেটাই সে সেভাবে বলার চেষ্টা করছে, আপনি যেটা যেভাবে করছেন সেটাই সে সেভাবে করার চেষ্টা করছে। Okay, that is the part of. So how a thing become a part of a child's behavior? It becomes a part of child's behavior through imitation, মানে কপি করে, through rewards. ওকে, একটা বাচ্চা একটা কাজ করলো, যদি বলেন গুড গুড ভেরি গুড ইয়ামি, হ্যাঁ, তাহলে কি করবে? দেখবেন যে ওই কাজটা সে আবার, ওকে, অ্যান্ড অলসো প্র্যাকটিস। ওকে, প্র্যাকটিস। Human role models in an infant's environment provide the stimuli and rewards. Human environment where a child lives, যেখানে একটা শিশু বসবাস করে, যাদের সাথে বসবাস করে, দাদা দাদি নানা নানি চাচা খর্ব খালাকি, যাদের সাথে ব্যবহার করে, through that environment a child will get rewards or punishment, and that would be their stimulus. Stimulus means উদ্দীপক, আর এর প্লুরাল হলো স্টিমুলি। ওকে, একটা শিশু কোনো অন্যায় কাজ করলো, দেখা গেল যে ইয়াস, a child has broken a glass. At that time, oh, you have broken my favorite glass, and he started slapping the child. Okay, that is the punishment. Okay, কিন্তু ও বাবা ভেঙেছ, ভাঙো, আরো ভাঙো, ঠিক আছে, হ্যাঁ, তখন ওই বাচ্চার কোনো ইয়া করবে না। ও দেখা গেল যে স্বাভাবিকভাবে হয়তো একটা নিজের মধ্যে একটা, যেটা মনে হয় ভাঙতে হয় না, কারণ ও নিজে থেকে বুঝবে যেটা ভাঙলে। তাহলে এই 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 এনভায়রনমেন্ট থেকে কোনো বাচ্চা হয়তো দেখা গেল একটা জিনিস পড়ে গেছে, সেখান থেকে ফ্লোরে একটা, ড্রয়িং রুমে একটা বিস্কিটের প্যাকেট পড়ে গিয়েছে, ওই বাচ্চা যদি ওখান থেকে ওটা কুড়ে নিয়ে গিয়ে ডাস্টবিনে ফেলে ময়লার, এটা দেখার পরে ও ভেরি গুড, ওয়েল ডান, গুড জব, এই তিনটা কথা যদি বলেন, তাহলে দেখবেন ওই শিশু কোনোদিন ওই ড্রয়িং রুমে কোনো একটা কিছু দেখলেই কি করবে, ওটা নিয়ে যায় সে ডাস্টবিনে। এটা হলো স্টিমুলাস। আওয়ার কনসার্ন ইজ দ্যাট এই যে রিওয়ার্ড এবং যে উদ্দীপনাটা উনি ক্লাসে পেলেন, এটা থেকেই সে ওই কাজটা করার জন্য বারে বারে ওটা করছে না, এবং সেটা তার একটা হ্যাবিটের অংশ হয়ে গিয়েছে, অ্যান্ড দ্যাট হ্যাজ বিন আ পার্ট অফ হিজ হার বিহেভিয়ার অ্যাজ ওয়েল। In case of second language acquisition, if such kind of intention becomes prevalent in second language acquisition, what would be done? যদি একটা ডাস্টবিনে ময়লার বিস্কিটের প্যাকেট ফেলার জন্য যদি আমরা বলি ওয়েল ডান, গুড জব, নাইস জব, ইন দ্য সেম ওয়ে যদি আমরা একটা নতুন ওয়ার্ডটা একটা শিশু বা কেউ যখন বলছে যে ওয়েল ডান, একটা কেউ আপনি আর্টিকেল লিখেছে, ও গুড জব, ক্যারি ইট অন, ওকে, দ্যাট ইজ কল্ড দ্য স্টিমুলাস। Observing such kind of tendency, J.B. Watson, John B. Watson, and B.F. Skinner, the two linguists, they come forward regarding this psychological behaviorist theory in case of second language acquisition. Watson believed that human behavior resulted from specific stimuli that elicited certain responses. So human behavior resulted from specific stimuli. Stimuli is the plural of stimulus. আমরা যাই করি না কেন, ওয়াটসন বলতেছেন যে বলছেন না, শুধু বিশ্বাস করতেন, এবং সেটা উনি বলছেন যে ইয়াস, হোয়াট উই ডু ইন আওয়ার ডে টু ডে অ্যাক্টিভিটিস, এভরি অ্যাক্টিভিটিস উইল বি বিলিভ দ্যাট উই ডু ইট উইথ সাম স্টিমুলাস, একটা উদ্দীপনা। হোয়াই উই আর ডুইং দিস জব, হোয়াই উই আর স্টাডিং হার্ড, হোয়াই ইউ আর ওয়াকিং, হোয়াই ইউ আর টেকিং, হোয়াই উই আর ডায়েটিং। Behind every action of a human being there is a stimulus, and that elicited, when you will be stimulated with a stimulus, and that stimulus will be elicited certain responses.
Yes.
Okay. One day one of my relatives would say that yes, no soft drinks, no ice cream, no chips, no red meat, no sugar, no salt after 40s. Now why? They are poison. I say that sometimes in a party I can have a soft drink. No. আপনি কি একটু বিষ খাবেন? তাহলে পার্টিতে গেলে আপনি একটু সফট ড্রিঙ্কস পাবেন কেন, খাবেন কেন? এটা তো বিষ। From that day onwards, whenever I go to drink soft drinks, I think that it's poison. After getting that stimulus, I stopped taking that soft drinks, ice cream and chips. Okay, and after getting that stimulus, and that stimulus created me a response. What is the response? I stopped taking ice cream, I stopped drinking soft drinks. Okay, so Watson believed that every human behavior is inspired by a certain kind of stimulus, and with that stimulus a person will convey a response. Okay, let's move on. The behaviorist theory suggests that language constructed through a continuous exposure and positive reinforcement. Reinforcement is another kind of stimulus. Initiated by Pavlov through his experiment, the theory was articulated with higher affirmation by Skinner. So Watson, next time Pavlov, and next time Skinner. So Watson initiated the idea, and then that hypothesis. What is the hypothesis? অনুমানটা কি? যদি মানুষ প্রতিটা কাজ, ওয়াটসন বিশ্বাস করতেন যে মানুষ প্রতিটা কাজের মধ্যে একটা রেইনফোর্সমেন্ট আছে, একটা উদ্দীপনা আছে, এবং সেই উদ্দীপনা অনুযায়ী মানুষ প্রতিটা কাজ করে, মানে যেটা রেসপন্স করে। এটা হলো কে? ওয়াটসন উনি বলেই খালাস। এরপরে প্যাভলভ এসেছেন, এটাকে, এই হাইপোথিসিসটাকে উনি টেস্ট করেছেন, টেস্ট করে একটা এক্সপেরিমেন্ট করেছেন। দ্যাট ইজ কল্ড প্যাভলোভিয়ান থিওরি অফ ডগস এক্সপেরিমেন্ট। ওকে, অ্যান্ড নেক্সট টাইম স্কিনার উনি বললেন যে উনি তো ডগ নিয়ে করলেন, আমি একটা অন্য কিছু নিয়ে করি। উনি একটা এক্সপেরিমেন্ট করেছেন যেটাকে বলা হচ্ছে র্যাটস এক্সপেরিমেন্ট। ওকে, and this experiments presented that behaviorist theory of second language acquisition. Let's move on. This American psychologist J.B. Watson, he initiated the idea first time, and next time Russian psychologist Pavlov initiated the dogs experiment in behaviorism, and next time American psychologist Skinner initiated a rat experiment that is called operant conditioning, and first one, the Russian psychologist Pavlov, he initiated the classical conditioning. So this classical conditioning and operant conditioning all will be based on the core idea delivered by J.B. Watson, that is human behavior or human action is initiated by a certain kind of stimulus. উদ্দীপনা, সেটা হতে পারে কি ওই বাচ্চাকে গুড জব, ওয়েল ডান, গুড, ভেরি গুড এসব কথা বলা, অথবা অন্য কোনো ধরনের উদ্দীপনা, যেটা হয়তো নিজের থেকে আসতে পারে অথবা বাইরে থেকে আসতে পারে। Okay, so in order to understand the early importance that was attached to the role of the first language, it is necessary to understand the main tenets of behaviorist learning theory. Okay, up to the 1960 decades, views of language learning were derived from a theory of learning in general. Okay, so that was a few studies of SALA based on the actual learning produced. So this is the thing. And the dominant school of psychology, all are the psychologists, J.B. Watson, Pavlov and Skinner, all are the psychologists. And we have started our lecture in such a way. In 1950 decades, psychological theory behaviorism was came up in the idea of human behavior. And after that, these three psychologists initiated this behaviorist theory in language learning or language acquisition, and they have initiated classical conditioning and operant conditioning. So here the dominant school of psychology, which informed that most discussion of language learning was behaviorism, and the two key notions can be identified in this dimension, that is habits and errors. Not error, that is error. You speak with me. Error. You can also say error, not error. Okay, errors. Okay, habits. The behaviorist psychologists set out to explain behavior by observing the responses and took place when particular stimuli are present. So when there will be a reward. Okay, if you run 1 kilometer, then you will get a reward. Then you will do so. আপনি যখন কোনো আপনার মধ্যে যখন আপনি কোনো রিওয়ার্ড পাবেন, সেটা যখন আপনি চিন্তা করবেন তখন আপনি একটা কাজ করার জন্য আগ্রহী হবেন। That is called reward. different stimuli produces different responses from a learner. Okay, different stimuli. If I say, okay, good job, well done. Okay, if I give you good marks, everything can stimulate a learner, especially the second language learner, to perform efficiently. Okay, that is the habit formation. These responses could be haphazard, in that sense that could be not predicted, or that could be regular. And this association of particular response with a particular stimulus constitute a habit. Okay, the association of a particular response with a particular stimulus constitutes a and it was this type of regular behavior that psychologists such as Watson and Skinner set out to investigate it. Okay, and Watson argued that the true basis of psychological inquiry existed only in objects, and that could be touched and actions through could be observed. Okay, so in such a way they initiated the idea of behaviorist language theory. Okay, and this American psychologist, the neo-behaviorism scholar, rather the different account of habits developed can be found. Skinner played down the importance of the stimulus on the grounds that it was not always possible to state stimulus was responsible for a particular response. Okay, so these are the things that is called. Yes. Yeah. What's this? Can you see? Is it a dog or lion? Yes. This is called dog's experiment, and through this experiment, Pavlov tried to present classical conditioning. So classical conditioning, this is the observation scale. This is the tube of collecting saliva. Saliva means lala. Dog হলো সামনে কোনো খাবার দেখলেই লালা বলতে শুরু করে। That is called saliva. And container of the meat powder. এটা হচ্ছে এখানে একটা কি আছে মাংস দেওয়া আছে। Okay. And then revolving drum for recording responses. Okay. যে লালা পড়বে এবং সেটা শুনো device to count drops of saliva. এখানে কত ড্রপ হচ্ছে সে ইয়া দিচ্ছে লালা দিচ্ছে তখন এই এক্সপেরিমেন্ট এটাকে বলা হচ্ছে ডগ এক্সপেরিমেন্ট। Okay. And that is called Pavlov dog's experiment. Okay, and one day Pavlov put a bowl of meat in front of dog. Okay, and at that time dog starts salivating. Okay, and next time he put two things together. Second day, meat. And at the same time, whenever he put meat before the dog, he switched the light on. Okay. So the dog gets two things together. That means whenever the light will be on, dog associates that idea that at the time I am getting food. Okay. So first day, Pavlov put the light on and also put meat. So dog starts salivating to eat the meat. কিন্তু খেতে পারছে না, celebrate করছে। Second day did the same thing, that is put the light on and put meat on the bowl, and dog starts celebrating. Third day, fourth day, fifth day did the same things. Okay.
And it has become habit.
Seventh day and eighth day, Pavlov put the light on only and didn't put the meat.
Without offering.
But the dog starts salivating. Dog gets an association between the light and food. So that is the relation that after getting the food and light together for 7, 8 or 7 days, it has become a part of the dog's behavior that after getting the light and food together, it starts salivating. So without getting the food, just after getting the light, the dog starts salivating. That means doing the same things again and again with the repetition and the imitation, the dog becomes a part of that behavior that he starts salivating at the time of getting the light on. Okay, and that is called conditioned salivating, and that is called unconditioned salivating. Conditioned salivating, that there is a condition that light, whenever light will be on, you will be getting food. And unconditioned, there will be light, but there is no food. That is the salivating. Through this experiment, Pavlov tried to present that actually the human behavior or the behavior of through the dog, that will be formed through a stimulus and through a repetition, and after the repetition it would be a part of human behavior. And if you do so, in case of second language acquisition or learning, if you practice and imitate a thing over and there, and the practice and imitation will be done through stimulus, that will not be okay. And through the stimulus, stimulus might come from your teacher, from your parents, from your students, or from your friends, anybody else. But that would be a part of your behavior, and spontaneously you will be imitating or copying or practicing the target language, and you will be a person that will speak or write language fluently. Okay, that is the classical conditioning. So classical conditioning, what is the definition of classical conditioning? Classical conditioning is when an organism forms a simple association between two previously unrelated stimuli. Unrelated, that means প্রথমত মিট এবং লাইটের সাথে হয়তো একটা রিলেশন ছিল, কিন্তু পরবর্তীতে লাইট জ্বললে তো কোনোভাবেই হচ্ছে, কিন্তু এটা যখন হচ্ছে কন্ডিশন হয়ে গেছে, পার্টের বিহেভিয়ারের অংশ হয়ে গিয়েছে, তখন সেখানে তার কি হবে, একটা সেলিব্রেট করছে. ওকে, সো বিটুইন টু প্রিভিয়াস আনরিলেটেড স্টিমুলি, one of the stimuli is important to the organism and is called the unconditioned stimulus, and the other stimulus is the conditioned stimulus. So that is the classical conditioning. If there is a stimulus, of course there is a response. Okay, and that is classical conditioning. Next time, operant conditioning comes up with Skinner, that is a technique that can be used to target and increase a behavior by pairing performance of the target behavior with a positive and rewarding outcome. Okay, in case of classical conditioning, what is the core thing? If there is a stimulus, there is a response. That is the classical conditioning. Classical means classic sound. Okay, that means you have to make the tune and rhythm very clearly. That is called classical sound. Okay, in the same way, classical conditioning is very core. That is, if there is a stimulus, of course there is a response, and through the gradual practice of this stimulus and response, that would be a part of your behavior. But in case of operant conditioning, operate others. Okay, that is, if the positive reinforcement or stimulus will be there will be the positive behavior, and there will be the negative rewarding or outcome, there will be the negative things will be there. And B.F. Skinner comes up with that experiment, and that experiment is called Rat's experiment. Okay, and that experiment, that is speaker, signal light, that is lever pattern. Okay, palate dispenser মানে এখানে হচ্ছে খাবারের গুঁড়ো আছে, মানে খাবারের বিড়ালকে ইঁদুরকে খাবারের জন্য বিভিন্ন জায়গায় হয়তো ছোট ছোট খাবারের রাউন্ড শেপ হচ্ছে কোনো ট্যাবলেট করা হয়, এরকম এটাকে প্যালেট করা হচ্ছে, প্যালেট ডিসপেন্সার, মানে এখান থেকে খাবার পড়বে, আর ডিসপেন্সার টিউব এর মধ্যে থেকে খাবারটা যাবে, এই যে এই দিক থেকে এর মধ্যে পড়বে। ওকে, আর ফুডটা এখানে এসে এই এর মধ্যে ইলেকট্রিক গ্রিড, এটা হলো ইলেকট্রিক গ্রিড, মানে এখানে একটা তার দেওয়া আছে, তার মধ্যে এটা এখানে যদি এই ইলেকট্রিকটা রাখা হয় তাহলে সেখানে ইলেকট্রিক শক হয়। ওকে, and to shock the generator, sorry, এটা হলো shock generator. So in a beautiful morning, putting all set together, the rat is inside the box. The rat was very happy. The rat started jumping here and there. Abruptly, it touched the lever. Whenever it touched the lever, it pushed and it gets a food tablet within the case. যখন হঠাৎ করে এখানে একটা টাচ করেছে, একটা খাবার সেখানে এসে পড়ে গেছে। এটা কিন্তু অ্যাক্সিডেন্টালি উনি করেছে। কে করেছে? তখন তার মাথায় একটা জিনিস কাজ করেছে, ওরও তো ব্রেন আছে, ছোট হলেও তো ব্রেন আছে। তখন ও শিফট করেছে, তখন সে মাঝে সাথে এখানে যে একটা করে চাপ দিচ্ছে আর কি করছে, একটা করে খাবার খাচ্ছে, একটা করে চাপ দিচ্ছে, একটা করে খাবার। That means that was the positive stimulus. The rat initiated to press the lever frequently because as many times it will be pressing the lever, it will get food. Okay, so the day was going on in such a way. The rat was happy and also Skinner was happy. But abruptly it touched this portion and got electric shock. Then what did that rat do? It touched the lever, but ever and ever, never it came to that corner where there was a electric shock. So positive reward will stimulus or stimulate something to do something positively. In the same word, negative something will dishearten something or deter someone to do or to discourage to do a thing. Okay, and that is called operant conditioning initiated by Skinner, B.F. Skinner. So B.F. Skinner wanted to press that if we want to have a response, of course there is a positive response. Positive response will operate positive responses. Negative reward will negative thing will operate negative response or will dishearten something. Okay, so that is the Skinner's operant conditioning. Okay, so reward introduces to increase a behavior and punishment introduced to decrease a behavior. What is the punishment? Okay, আপনি পরীক্ষায় এত ভালো করে লিখলেন, দেখা গেল পেলেন হলো 10-এর মধ্যে 1, তখন কি হবে? যে হয়তো এটা একটা হয়তো আপনি কিছু করেছিলেন, তখন এটা কি হবে? এটা ইন ডিক্রিজ আ বিহেভিয়ার। তখন আপনি কি করবেন? চেষ্টাই ছেড়ে দেবেন, যা চেষ্টাই করবো না। ওকে, আর যদি পজিটিভ রিওয়ার্ড হয়, দ্যাট উইল ইন্ট্রোডিউস টু, সো পজিটিভ রিওয়ার্ড ইনিশিয়েট পজিটিভ বিহেভিয়ার and negative punishment will decrease a behavior. That is called B.F. Skinner operant conditioning in case of second language acquisition. So in this way, children were supposed to build up a knowledge or the pattern or habit or constituted the language they were trying to learn. It was believed that SLA could process a similar way. Okay, so second language acquisition can be done through imitation and reinforcement, and such kind of psychological theory came in discussion in the second half of the 20th century by some psychologists, and after getting that, B.F. Skinner, Pavlov and Watson, they initiated that theory in case of second language acquisition. In case of Pavlov, his dog experiment, through the dog's experiment, he tested the hypothesis that is called classical conditioning. If there is a stimulus, of course there is a response, and through the exposure to the stimulus, that would be a part of human behavior. In first case, second language can be the part of human behavior through reinforcement and practice. In the second one, that is the B.F. Skinner, that is operant conditioning, that means positive reinforcement operates positive response, and punishment will decrease a response or behavior. So that is all of the behaviorist theory of second language acquisition. Okay, and any questions?